So yeah, it's been a few days since I've painted the truck. Paint is nice and dry and cured now. So I'm going to proceed with step number 4. Hey, how's it guys, and welcome back. Special welcome to the new Oaks. Happy you could join us. So I'm going to proceed with step number 4 in my attempt to create fake patina on a crackpot here. So in the previous video I went through all the different stages and steps. Step 1 was giving it a coat of black paint. Step 2, gave it a coat of red oxide. Step 3, this aquamarine color. Talked about the whole idea a little bit. Now we're going to get into the fun part. So stay with me. So Mother Nature takes what, 50 years or something like that to create real patina. I want to try and simulate that in like a few hours. But I think it's a good thing to look at real patina as inspiration, or for inspiration, to try and simulate what's going on there. So the first thing, of course, the paint is being flattened. There's no shine left. So I'm going to flatten the paint, all of the paint, with 400 grit paper and some water, just by hand. And as I do this, I now need to keep in mind how it works on real patina. Sun is beating down from the top, so the surfaces facing upwards would be the worst affected. So those are the areas I would like to focus on. So I actually want to remove the marine paint now, the aquamarine paint now, and start exposing the red oxide on those particular surfaces. So in this close-up shot you can see the red oxide starting to come through. I'm focusing on those surfaces that's facing the sky, as it were, and you can see if I keep going now, I'm going to break through the red oxide and I'll start getting the black as well. There are no rules. It's a lot of fun. You can do anything you want, but I think it's wise to think about how patina works, if I can put it like that. And let's try and simulate that. So it does not make sense to me to take the aquamarine paint off in the surface here necessarily, or definitely not in there. So if we look at this area here, up here will definitely be mostly in the shade, while this surface here is mostly exposed to the sun. So we only want to break through the aquamarine paint, this blue paint, on that level there, that surface there, and definitely not there. That would not look right. So you can see here I've gone through the red oxide and I'm exposing the black. So now I need to be careful. I don't want to go through the black and into the white. If I do, it's not a problem. It's another plan we can make, but I'm going to try and attempt not to get through into my original white coat of paint. You can experiment with the grit of the paper as well. I'm currently trying 220. Just removes paint a lot quicker. So how much you want to take off is really open for interpretation. Like I say, there are no rules. I think the important thing is to just make sure that it's not equal. It needs to be sort of irregular. Nothing in nature, or nature creates, is ever in straight lines. Okay, so you'll see right there's a bit of white that I went through. So if I want to get rid of that, this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to give it a squirt with a rattle can, satin black. I see there's some interesting paint business going on here, so I'm just going to give that a light coat in there as well. Just make sure it's dry. So the rattle can paint is dry. It's a thin layer. I'm going to use 600 grit paper now with some water to gently remove what I don't want. Definitely don't want it down there. And up here, let's see what's going to happen. I've got some white sewing, so maybe we can touch that up again. But yeah, interesting effects happening. So I'm just going to mess with it a little bit more. That looks freaking horrible. So I'm just going to use my little airbrush here with some black paint in it and cover it up. And I think that's what's nice about this approach, is you can just fine tune it as you want. I'm just going to let that dry some, and then I'm going to put some red oxide color over it. And then I get sidetracked, seeing as I've still got black paint going, and I decide to work a little bit on my rat. Well, I guess it's going to be quite some time before he's finished, but at least I'm making a start on it again. P.S. I am not a sign writer or a airbrush artist by any chance. I just like to try my hand at everything. Got the vague outlines in place of the rat. But let me get back to what I'm actually busy with. I mean, really. Okay, this black is dry. I'm just going to put some red oxide over it now. Okay, let's follow up with some blue and see how it goes. Here you go, I think that's a lot more subtle. So yeah, and if you feel you've got too much contrast between what you've sanded and your top coat, it's easy to put a little bit of your top coat in a spray gun or a little airbrush and just tone it down a little bit. It's very hard to get the lightning right here, or lighting. See, same shot, but I've taken my LED spotlight away so you can see the colors actually show quite differently. So that's what I mean with, it's very hard to actually reflect what's truly going on here with regards to the colors because of the light. So I'm seeing this chip here in the paintwork, and it just makes sense to me that the primer coat would be exposed inside of that sort of hole, if I can call it that. So I'm just going to spray a little bit of red oxide in there, wipe it with a rag and see what it looks like. If I don't like it, I can always change it again. Just like that. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, I think I'm just going to let that dry for a bit. Okay, my paint chip spots that I'm just going to sand a little bit now. And now I'm going to actually lightly spray it over with some of my blue paint, just to tone down that red a little bit. So when we stand back, that's all we see. It's very hard to get the true colors with all the lights and the reflections, but I think you get the idea. So sharp corners like we have here, that's definitely a place where the paint would be worn right through. So in this case we're here on the edge by the hood, or in South Africa they call it a bonnet, eh? Hey, here's some fun you guys don't know about. How do you like my exhausts? So yeah, you can see how you can play with the effect between sanding and then spraying with that little spray brush. You can fade it in, fade it out. That's the overall effect so far. Knowing myself, I'm still going to mess around with it for quite a long time. Let's try and do something about this to accentuate that a little bit. I've got an idea in my head that I'd like to try. So I'm just going to soak this cloth with some terps first, so that it's nice and wet with the terps. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, and then I'm going to spray the cloth with red oxide. Okay, let's see if my plan's going to work. I think I need to put a little bit more paint on my cloth. I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm just going to come play with the sandpaper a little bit here, I think. Some 400 wet and dry paper. I think I want the red oxide more into that sort of space there. Wipe off the worst. And now I'm just going to tone down that sharp red color by spraying over it with a little bit of my top coat. Just lightly. And that's what it looks like now. Let me know what you think. You might like it, you might hate it. Either way, you're welcome to tell me. This corner here, and this surface here, and this edge here, is a very good spot for creating this patina. We might even want to break through the paint completely and expose bare metal, because this could be a spot where there has been a lot of wear and tear over the years. I've exposed the white here, don't like that, so I'm going to pull my little trick there as well. Oh, and by the way, don't tell anybody, but these pipes are not for real. They're just fake. I just did it for fun. Here in South Africa, you'd never get away with driving in public with open pipes like that. Cops here are full of shit. Third world country. But yeah, I'm just doing it for fun. If you like the t-shirt, remember there's one up for grabs in our free giveaway. Go check it out here on this link to find out more. And they're also available online now. You can buy them. Go check out the links in the description. This design is available, plus in rust we trust. The other one, different sizes, long sleeve, short sleeve, all the rest of them. So go check out that link in the description to find out more. So I got the bonnet out here in the dust. Run out of space inside the shop as always. I sprayed it, it's blue. But I want to do something about my flames here. I don't know, you might remember if you've watched some previous videos, I fixed the rust here by putting these flames on. But you can hardly see them. I need to do something here to accentuate them, so that they stand out more. I've got an idea. I think this is what I'm going to do. I think that looks cool, man. Can't wait to see what it's going to look like on the truck. There's two options here. I can either give it the boiled linseed oil finish to the bare metal, or we can let it rust. We'll have to wait and see. I'll still have to make up my mind. So this is what I have thus far. So one of our subscribers, Henry Gibson. Henry, I hope I pronounced your surname correctly. Asked the question, how much to sand off? And that is the question. It depends entirely on the effect you want to get, how far you want to take it, how much of the red oxide and the black you want to expose. I'm going to leave it like this for now. I would like to get the front end on and the load bin, get the truck as a whole entity, if I can put it like that, and then evaluate and then take it from there. So I definitely would not say that I'm finished yet. I'm definitely going to be playing with the effects down the line, but that will be in a future video. And a special shout out to Stash Wax Roller. He said, and I'm going to read it for you, people who are into full restoration stuff are missing out on all the fun that Rat Rod guys are having. And I couldn't agree more. Because there are no rules here, you can do whatever you want, and nobody can say that it's right or wrong. It is indeed a lot of fun. Now, thanks very much for watching. Appreciate it. Next up, I'm going to get into engine alignment. I'd really like to get the brackets done, the engine mounting brackets for the 351 here. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.